Welcome back to the car loans. So yesterday, you guys should have done the breakdown after finding the car you want to analyze of how much would you need to pay per month for that car, depending on two things: if you have a good credit score or a poor credit score, and depending on what loan term that you chose. Loan term meaning how long do you have to pay back that loan you borrowed from the bank. So we should see that with a shorter loan term, like only 3 years, 36 months, you have higher monthly payments. And the more time you have to pay the loan, the amount you owe per month does go down. So that's one huge benefit to choosing a longer loan term. You do have a lower monthly payment. But you will notice if you choose those longer loan terms, your interest that you pay overall does go up. So the total cost of the car is increasing by a little bit there. But as we can see, that doesn't change nearly as much as if you have a poor credit score, where your monthly payment and the total interest and the total cost of the car is just way more. You guys are going to do some percent conclusions throughout the rest of this week. But before we get there, we are going to look at one more factor that always shows up when you are buying cars and usually homes, which is how does a down payment factor in? Okay. And we are going to use the same car for each of these cases. And just as a reminder, guys, a down payment is the amount of money you have saved up in your bank account, and you literally walk up to the car dealership and you pay that money up front before you get the loan. So it lets you get a lower principal loan amount. So hopefully you pay less interest over time. And you guys are going to do a little bit of a breakdown on that today before you guys start doing some percent conclusions and analysis that you could use to literally give advice to people in your life. So make sure you guys are in your PowerPoint. That is for later. Sorry about that. And we are going back to the same car loan calculator that we were using yesterday. But we have a little bit more math that we're going to need to do before we get there, okay? I'm going to go ahead and get my Desmos calculator open. Feel free just to use your personal phone calculator if that's what you prefer. Okay, we should only need the for function today. So if I go back here, guys, usually a down payment, your goal is to save up about 10 or 20% of the price of the car that you're trying to buy, okay? So I am going to choose for both of my examples the 20% option. So I'm just going to highlight that in green so I know that I chose 20% for both options. You can choose 10% if you'd like, if that's more realistic for how much you could save for the down payment for your car. So before we sort of jump in and see how much money a down payment could possibly save us, I'm going to find 20% of the price of my car. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the price of my car, $21,895 times 20% would be 0.2 as a decimal. If you chose 10%, you would use 0.1. We always move that decimal over 2 spaces. And my down payment at 20% would be $4,379. $4,379, okay? And since I'm using the same car for both of these examples, I'm using that same down payment for both my good credit score and my bad credit score example. So what this means, guys, is that I literally have $4,379 in my bank account, and I write a check that I literally show up with to that car dealership. So when it's time to figure out how much money you need for your loan, we take the price of the car and we subtract the down payment because you save that up, and that's how much you're paying for your car all up front, and then you need a loan to pay back the rest of the money. So we need to subtract the price of the car from your down payment to see what loan you need. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to take my $21,895, and I'm going to subtract that down payment that I had. That's how much money I had saved up, and pay off the car right off the top. So then there's what's left. I still owe $17,516 for the car, and that's the amount that I'm going to get a loan for. So I'm going to take that number, 17,516, 17,516. And for this example, guys, I want you to choose the middle option for both the 48 months, and I put those interest rates for you for the good and poor credit. So I'm going to do the good credit example first. I'm going to choose 48 months, and my good credit score gets me a way lower interest rate, a way lower APR at 3.25. So I'm going to change that to 48 months and 3.25. I had a new car, and hit enter. Oh, no, never mind. I think that just worked. Okay, good. 0.5. Great. So my monthly payment would be $390 here. My total interest paid will be $1,187. $1,187. And to get the total cost of your car, we once again are going to take the total interest paid plus the price of the car. Okay. So I'm going to go back. 21,000. So the price of the car, just like yesterday, guys, plus the interest paid, 1,187. And so I ended up paying a total of $23,082 here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get the data for the poor credit score, and then we can do some of these comparisons of how much you saved per month and how much you saved in interest overall, okay? So the only difference between these two examples, guys, is your interest rate because of your credit score. So when I go back to my auto loan calculator, all I have to do is change that good interest rate to the bad interest rate, which is 11.5 in this case. It's very high for a car. So your monthly payment will be $457. Your total interest paid will be $4,419. And once again, guys, the total cost of your car is always the price of the car plus the total interest paid, okay? So that's $4,419 for me. Plus 4,000, what was it? There we go, 419, gotta double check that. And so I would have paid a total of $26,314. Okay. So we sort of did that analysis. Now we need to compare it to how much you paid without a down payment. So to get this, guys, how much did you save per month? We're going to take the monthly payment that we got in this good credit score down payment example, $390. We'll subtract that from the monthly payment we had up here without a down payment, which we will see right here on the 48 month, monthly payment was $487. I saved $97 per month for that example. So I'm going to go back. How much did I save each month? $97. How much did you save in interest overall? Well, first I'll go type in the interest I paid with my down payment, $1,187 minus. Now we'll go see how much interest did I pay at the 48-month loan term without a down payment. And if I'm at my 48 months, total interest paid was $1,484. So I ended up saving $297 on my car by having a down payment. Not a whole lot of money, but it's something. So it still helped, but we're going to see that it helped a lot more with your poor credit example. And make sure you guys are using your own numbers for your own PowerPoint presentation. But I will go through this because I know it can get a little confusing. So how much should we save each month with our poor credit? Well, I'm going to take my monthly payment of $457 minus. Now we'll go see what was my monthly payment with poor credit for the 48-month loan term. And it looks like I had $571. So I ended up saving $114 per month with my poor credit example. So I definitely saved a little bit more money by having a down payment over here. And now we'll see what my overall interest savings were. So we'll take the total interest I paid in this down payment example, 4,419, minus how much interest did I pay without a down payment. Here, 5,524. So in this case, a down payment would have saved me $1,105. So as you can see, guys, the role of a down payment saves you money in both examples, but it saves you a lot more money the worse that your credit score is. So you guys are going to do that sort of breakdown for your car for the good and poor credit score example. And then we will get into percent conclusions, starting to compare all of these things.